birthday version. Sorry, Elmo.
You didn't just kill Elmo. You bit his eye off. What was the thought process? You just look at that poor Elmo.
Hi guys.
I had to put the cat. There's actual candy in here though. Which is
I was
great,
actually
because
just really proud that I had connected with Elmo.
Dude, you didn't just connect.
Because I was spinning pretty quick.
You blew it. I thought you were gonna fall over.
For a 6'2" man, I was spinning real quick.
You destroyed Elmo. I feel kind of bad.
Yeah, I'm sorry you didn't get a chance to even injure him. Is there any candy left inside it?
Dude, there's a lot of candy in Elmo. Oh, okay.
Thank you. Yeah, gummy bears rule. Anyway.
Yeah.
What are we here for?
Bracket show.
Oh yeah,
Today
bracket
is the
show today.
Gfinity bracket show.
Yeah, a good bracket show as well. Big tournament going down in Europe this weekend. I actually get on my flight tonight after the company happy hour, going straight in to the show.
Elmo's in. Why did you do that?
You gotta ask Ozzy the same thing when it comes to that bet.
I'm sorry, that was
Raised by those beavers.
I can't
Too many
wait
days
till
in
your
the
birthday.
woods.
Your birthday, well, I'm going all out on your birthday now.
For sure.
We're gonna.
We are definitely racing old women in wheelchairs. We are going to nursing homes. And gummy bears.
We're going to.
Well, my original plan, like I was telling you guys, is I called a magician, and I wanted to bring a magician on today and do face painting and animal balloons. But
Dude, I would have been so down.
came on.
I would have been a tiger.
Yeah? I was thinking a butterfly. Maybe a dragon. Butter dragon?
I think one day when you guys, one day when you guys don't expect it, I'm just gonna bring a magician on today.
You so should.
We appreciate that.
Yeah. But we're here to talk about Gfinity.
Where did you find, New York City, no one has space. Where did you find balloons this big?
It was a party city on 34th and 9th. And originally I had these other little balloons and I was going to get 4 of them. And then I saw these massive star ones and I was like, how could you not get
This is true.
the largest balloon?
It's very true.
I had to take the freight elevator up
Wow.
because they wouldn't let me through the front of the building. So I had to take
Are
the
you
freight-
serious?
Yeah. It was a very odd experience.
Matt, we appreciate all the effort.
Dude. You're a trooper.
I was like, man, Matt is really slacking on the script today. Then I come in and I see all this. It's like, oh, he has been working. Secretly.
Secretly.
With Will.
Yes.
Dude, these are amazing, by the way.
Yeah, who all do Ben and I owe hugs to? You, Young William,
Everybody.
everybody.
Yeah, Nick and David really worked on the player cards as well. I wrote them real quick. It was
I keep hitting my head with this on accident.
yeah. Not everybody was in on it.
You've already killed one Elmo. Stop. Don't do it. Oh my God, the balloon is just escaping.
It's up there. We're good. All right. You got yours.
Yeah.
Mine's all pretty and glistening.
I really actually was about to grab Elmo's head and throw it at your balloon. It's like, why am I so violent
stop.
today?
Calm down.
I'm just going to relax and talk about Call of Duty. All right, let's get into the bracket show because we have the cast-off coming up at 5. Can't be late for that. And there's a ton to talk about. If you guys didn't know, you obviously haven't been watching Call of Duty the last 3 months. Gfinity is coming up this weekend, and it's going to feature some of the world's best talent. And that's kind of a big deal because we don't really see world caliber teams from basically multiple different countries all just convening on one location outside of COD Champs.
Yeah.
And we've had it happen a few times at MLG, but never really with Americans, Canadians, Europeans,
This is
and
everybody.
Australians in the same place. This weekend, though, jam-packed tournament. Here's a look at all of the teams competing. You see Infused from the UK, Fab eSports. I'm actually really excited about that squad combining their German team and their all-star, the team from the Netherlands at COD Champs, all into one super squad. Prophecy is going to come over with some new players. Aware from the UK, Optic Nation, Denial, Envy, TCM, Planetronix Mind Freak, Team Caliber, Epsilon Esports. We got Vitality, Strictly Business, Optic Gaming, and Gamers 2, as well as, is it
Hyper Games?
Hyper Games?
Yes.
Thank you.
So everybody, really, that you can kind of think of. I mean, there's not really one. I mean, there's a few teams that you can think of, maybe they could have went. But still, this is the biggest names in Call of Duty, all going to be in London this weekend.
And this is actually my favorite type of tournament format. When you invite 16 teams,
Right.
you have even numbers, you have fair groups, and then you're able to not necessarily go through this huge treacherous open bracket into kind of a small double elimination. I think it goes group play straight to single elimination bracket. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yep.
So the way they're
No
doing
messing
it,
around.
yeah, the format is going to be a GSL style group play. So pretty much when you kind of look at it, it's
Yeah,
going to be
GSL, but multiple organizations have been using it. It's basically 2 wins and you're in.
yeah, 2 wins and you're in. It's not going to be kind of the round robin format. It's going to be 2 teams in the pools. They play each other. The winners play, and then the loser of that plays the winner of the losers match. So it's 2 wins to get in, and then it's going to go into a single elimination bracket.
What do you think about single elim bracket?
I love it.
Yeah? You a
Yeah,
fan?
I feel like it adds so much excitement. I'd almost like to see best of 7s or best of 11s. Oh, best of 11 could be way too long.
That could be,
But
that
best
could be a
of
little,
7s, I think, might be the sweet spot for a single elimination bracket. And it really just puts that much more pressure on you in the group play as well, because you don't want to be that number 2 seed facing off against a top seed from one of the other groups.
How would you do a best of 7 in this game?
I would go, see here, 2 hard points,
Okay.
2 uplinks,
Okay.
3 searches.
Yeah,
I'd be a fan.
Yeah, I'd be a fan.
fan.
I think best of 7 single elim would be awesome.
I think best of 7 just adds that little bit extra to it, I think.
Yeah.
Because
I mean-
obviously not having a losers bracket, kind of more high pressure situation. So
If you don't want to get rid of, or if you don't want to have 3 searches, I think you could keep a CTF in there as like the middle game. But
It's
as a
fine.
caster, I'm gonna go with the other 3.
Yeah, why not?
Go with the other 3.
We'll take the S&Ds. Take the S&Ds.
Yeah.
So let's start this off. We saw the 16 teams, but we should talk a little bit about the groups that they
Right.
got placed in. And the groups that got announced this week, I know they've been saving a lot of the information to right before the tournament. And here's what we found out just a little bit ago. In Group A, Optic Gaming, considered going into Call of Duty Championships as the best team in the world, didn't have the best performance there. They ended up finishing top 8, but in 7th place. They're going up against Epsilon eSports, who has gone under numerous roster changes, Strictly Business and Gamers too. You guys want to talk about each group one at a time, or you want to go over them all?
I think we start. We'll talk about each group as we go through them.
Okay.
Perfect.
I think this group. I mean, you look at Optic Gaming. I mean, you got a question. How strong is this Optic Gaming roster with Enable versus their former roster with Nadeshot and their current roster with Karma? I think it falls somewhere in the middle. I think Karma is more consistent. He's a little bit more versatile than Enable. I would say Enable's more of just like a straight slayer in this
Yep.
game. And I do think it's stronger than the roster they had with Nade.
I think the key for me really here is you've added Enable to the squad because Karma was unable to travel. But Enable's so used to playing such a different role, I think that's really where the struggle was, especially with the you saw at ESWC. People were kind of looking at the games and were like, yo, Enable, he's playing really bad. Like, what's going on? It's not necessarily that he's playing bad, he's just not playing how he's used to, and he's playing a very different role. I mean, now, he's playing with Formal Crim and Scump. Like, there's only so many kills you'll be able to get.
As quote-unquote bad as he was playing, they still won ESWC
Right,
over the world champions
But
Denial.
that's the thing, he wasn't playing bad.
After playing with Enable though at ESWC, how much stronger is Optic Gaming now after having a LAN under their belt with this group of 4?
I would say very. They look really good. Is it as strong as when they have Karma on the squad? Still, I would say no.
I still say they're
no.
favorites
I'd say
to
no.
win the whole thing though.
Yeah.
I think
By a mile.
I think it'd be crazy to say.
But that's the thing. You could look at that roster: Formal, Crim, and Scump.
Right.
And there's a big pool of players that you could say you could add into there and they'd still be favorites.
Right.
Like, I'm pretty sure they could probably play with you and win an event. Like, that's how strong those 3 players are. Like, especially, dude, Crim after COD Champs. Like, this is something we talked about last week. As soon as after COD Champs comes around, this is where he all of a sudden turns into an
Crim
animal.
does play
This
better
is
after
his
Champs.
best COD, like, in terms of the time frame.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think they're going to be pretty unstoppable.
Big note there. I saw it talked about earlier on Twitter, also all over the Call of Duty Reddit. Crim6, 18 wins right now. If Optic Gaming is able to get another one here, he ties Aches for most wins in competitive Call of Duty.
That could make
Yeah,
X Games so interesting, too.
That would make X Games. I mean,
Especially
crazy
with
for
Prof
OG.
currently where they are in the league, too.
Right.
Like, whoo.
Epsilon's another interesting story. They're going to be playing with 2 substitutes.
I love
for
this
event.
Epsilon team.
Yeah, no, it's a great squad. So they're going to be using Remy and Vicento. So it's going to be Swanee, Madcat, Remy, and Vicento. You see the roster there. They played with Josh and Tommy, their champs team at ESWC last week. Didn't make it out of groups. What's even crazier is that after this event, the only one who's going to be on Epsilon is Swanee. Like, what does Swanee do? I mean, how well do you think this team's going to gel together? There's a lot of
Honestly, like
questions
you look at the
This is a
past
pickup
couple of
squad.
Epsilon. Yeah, it's a pickup squad, but you look at Epsilon as a team from the past couple of events, ESWC COD champs, and everyone kind of looks at them and is like, yo, this is a European team who's going to contend. They're going to be like
Now they're-
up there with the best.
They don't exist.
And they kind of flopped, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
So I look at this squad, I'm like, well, is this an improvement? You know, you have Facento and Remy coming in. I mean, these guys play second at COD champs. Like, you have to think of it as an improvement. Swanee has been over in North America. He's played a stint. Obviously, we know Mad Cat. He's coming over to North America now as well to play in the Pro League. I actually think this squad could maybe cause a couple of upsets, but I don't think they're going to finish in the top 5.
Lack of practice is the biggest thing here. Epsilon didn't announce their lineup until yesterday, I believe. I think that is going to be the biggest worry, is going into the
Right.
game modes where you can't just rely on your raw slaying power, your natural talent, the game modes that require much more teamwork. However, they have half of the best uplink team in the game in TR. I think I look at that squad and I'm like, it's probably closer to think of this new Epsilon team as half a TR with Swanee and Mad Cat filling in the TR roles. Like, can Mad Cat play the Aqua role? Because I know Swanee could play a very similar role as what Nagafen does on that TR team.
He's better
Yeah.
than Nagafen. That I think when you look at it like that, in that exact way, that's an upgrade. But then it's, can Mad Cat play how Aqua used to play?
Yeah.
And that's a different question.
He
'Cause
doesn't
Mad
have the
Cat's-
speed, man.
Mad Cat's
He
very
plays
good, but
more
that's the thing.
aggressive. He doesn't
Aqua is
play-
just so fast.
Yeah.
Like, when he breaks a hill, he already knows exactly where he's going to be pre-aiming, and I don't think Mad Cat can play at that pace.
What do you think Swanee does after this event?
Well, I think we'll have to find out
That's a
of
great
what
question.
happens with all the other teams in Europe after this event. Because Swanee, I know he'd love to come back over to the States, but that is
Right.
it's very difficult
Yeah.
to accomplish. I think he's still going to have to look for a EU team and try and build something fresh here.
I think he may...
Is he finding his way on Vitality?
I think he may consider maybe playing on the back burner a little bit and maybe going into the analysis kind of role. I know
Yo,
it's something he's been
Swanee,
doing for a
he is
while.
into it.
Join the
He's a
club.
really good caster. You saw what he could do at ESWC. He's casted at a lot of events in Europe now as well. And I feel like you look at Swanee's year that he's had so far, everything that would look as if it was going to be so good has ended pretty bad.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, there's only so many events he's going to go to and
happens.
get bad placements. And then he's like, well, what else can I do? And casting is definitely something he could do.
It's May right now. You got 6 months until the new game. That's how I look at it, though. I don't know if you want to transition purely into a caster just yet. So,
Yeah.
we'll see more from Swanee this weekend. But I honestly think Epsilon, this is going to be a team with tons of potential.
Yes.
How well can they gel quickly together? That's my
I think
question.
they've been boot camping at the Gfinity studios
Oh, they have?
with Up the Gaming Denial. I think those were the other two.
I'd be
teams
curious
there.
to see some of the results
That's
of
some
some of those
pretty damn
games.
good practice
Yeah.
right there. Let's go to the next team, Strictly Business. Now, this is a squad we thought would just disintegrate, fall apart after COD Champs. They went in their different directions, came right back together. Fizzerp, John, Sin, and Twiz. We saw them on the Call of Duty Championships main stage. They're playing FaZe Black, and Fizzerp played incredible in that matchup. John had some top 5 caliber plays. Lots of potential on this squad, and I feel like they're one of the bigger underdogs or dark horses coming into all of Gfinity.
Oh,
I feel like you look at SB, though, and obviously no disrespect to Twiz and Sin, but can you compare them to the likes of Dito and Neslo? Personally,
Well-
I don't think you can.
John and Fizzerp had the 2 highest KDs on that team from Champs.
Okay.
But if you were to ask me on like any given weekend, if Twiz and Sin are gonna play better than like Dito and
On
Neslo,
a LAN event, too?
right?
Like,
I'd put my money on Dito and Neslo.
Right.
Like I trust that more. Like I know Sin and Twiz are like pretty good players, like
they're very good players.
very good players, but I just trust like those veterans more. I think
Right.
Dito and Neslo I would trust a little bit more.
I mean, that's what we call champs, right? Neslo in a clutch situation in such a destroy, he's
Right.
going to clutch up for you most of the time. Still, I think Strictly Business have a chance. I know you guys completely wrote them out called champs, and they kind of fought through. So that's the kind of players that they are. They love being that underdog. They love everyone saying, nah, you're not going to make it through pools. You don't stand a chance. Because all it takes is one upset. If they get that lucky first win, who knows?
And then our final team in this group is going to be Gamers 2. Now, this is one of my favorite teams out there. The Spanish squad made up of Tohor, Legend. They've been playing together forever. Methods and JK7 on this squad. Gamers 2, I think, got a lot farther than a lot of people imagined going into Champs. They made it out of their groups, made it into the bracket.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, unable to finish in the top 8 for money.
But I mean, look at the teams they lost to. I mean, they lose to ON in groups. I mean, ON doesn't have the best run.
That's true. That's true.
Bracket play after that. But the teams they lost to in bracket play, FaZe, Red, and Mindfreak, they both placed extremely well. So it's not like they kind of lost to a fluky team in bracket play. They ran into two of the better teams at the overall event.
Yeah, you lost to number 3 and number 6
Right.
overall.
But do you really think that the Game is 2 can compete with Strictly Business, Epsilon, and Optic?
They can definitely beat Epsilon.
The thing.
You think they,
I think
really?
based
They
off
can give
of
Epsilon a game, I think.
based off of team chemistry, if Epsilon has anything off, Gamers 2 wins that series. I think Strictly Business, I'm never sold on those guys until I watch them play live.
Right.
Do they have am I betting money on these guys? No. Not throwing my money at
Could they
Gamers
win?
2.
Like,
I'll
let's
bet
say
you
like
that $50 Steam gift card real quick.
no, don't do it.
Matt's like, dude, listen.
Could they beat like SB? Like, let's say that it's like an early morning match, like SB with the time change and stuff. Could they come in
traveling
and
out
beat?
today?
Huh?
Is SB traveling out today, or are they already in
I
London?
think they're already there.
I think
Because this is
everyone but me is there, yeah.
This is you're the
Everybody
last
but
one.
Buddy's there,
You better sleep on that plane, because honestly, like the travel is tough. You know, from when you went to Gfinity, we sat down and we talked about it, and I was like, yeah, traveling to Europe is very different than
I
traveling
watched
to
3
America.
movies
It's,
instead of sleeping.
yeah, that's not the way to do it. So maybe if Strictly Business play Gamers 2 in the morning, Gamers 2 can sneak a win in that one.
Yeah.
I think when you look at it, who is Gamers 2 most likely to beat in that group? I think it's Strictly Business.
Wow. You're going SB on that.
I mean, it's 50% of TR.
I thought
Plus
they would
you've
just wreck
upgraded
off the gaming.
You've upgraded your assault rifle play to Swanee. When Swanee came into North America, everyone kind of saw the shot he had. Like, this guy was dropping numbers. Yeah,
Nagafen
they
is
weren't
so
playing
much
well.
more than just that pure role, though, because he is an LMG player who switches to the bow,
Right.
who switches to the ASM-1, and he fills whatever role that TR squad needs, and that's my worry for Epsilon.
Right,
Can Mad Cat and Swanee adjust? Because historically, Swanee's kind of slow.
Right.
Historically, Mad Cat's pretty unpredictable. TR was one of the most coordinated squads out there, and that's why they were
They'll
successful.
be good in search. That team will be good in
They'll
search.
be very good at
They'll be
search.
very good in search.
What was interesting is when we had Vicento on, and we were talking about Nagafen, and this is very interesting comparing him to the likes of Swanee. The key comparison that Vicento gave was, to put it simply, everyone found Nagafen annoying to play against. They didn't want to play against him because he was just a nuisance.
Yeah.
Swanee isn't that type of player.
No.
You know what Swanee's going to be,
You know,
but can
You
you
know the
outshoot him is a
spot,
completely
right.
different question. So the team, kind of like a little bit of TR, but still it's going to be very, very different. Hopefully they can get enough boot camp in to place well, but
There's no question about
There-
the talent.
there's a clear one in that pool.
yeah.
It's a toss-up for the rest of it.
Well,
It is.
I think we should make our predictions.
You want to go
You
straight
wanna go
to
straight
you want to go straight to
predictions?
prediction?
You want to go through all the teams?
Let's go through all the
Let's
groups.
go all through.
All right.
all the groups.
We'll save our predictions then.
Let
All
everyone
right.
know where we're at.
All right.
Let's go Group B.
Group B. We're going to keep the show rolling because it's already 3:40 up in this
Yeah.
beast.
Because you killed Elmo.
I did murder Elmo, and
I'm
I'm
having
eating
more
his
candy.
innards.
I'm gonna have some more. candy
Group
on
B is going to be Denial, TCM, Hyper Games, and Infused. I think the first team, obviously, we got to talk about our world champions Denial. I mean, JCap, Attach, Clayster, and Replays. You know, they have. It's a pretty poor ESWC. I mean, they make it to the finals, but it's not a clean run to the finals.
You
You
didn't feel like they were comfortable, right?
It is a bouncy road to the finals. How do they deal with, the loss there, and then now with their kind of like, I wouldn't say their backs against the wall, but you have to look at it in a way that
Just open your candy,
Okay.
Ben. Just open your candy.
they haven't been playing well in the Pro League since champs.
Yeah.
They go to ESWC. They have a lot of close games with pretty much everybody they play. Going into this tournament with the best teams, how confident do you think they are?
Pretty confident.
Really?
Yeah, I think you made it to the finals. You're not worried. You shook it off. You're now adjusted to Europe. You just gotta get Attached, JCap, and Clay to play well at the same time. It sounds easy to do. Whether or not they can accomplish that, that's a different question. But I feel like we saw a totally different Denial at champs than what we saw at ESWC. And even when they're not playing at their best, they're good enough to make it to a finals. I think that statement stands true for this tournament.
I think both of you kind of summed it up perfectly last week on the eSports report when we were talking about Denial. That slaying right now just seems to be lacking. I don't know what it is. You're seeing more and more teams just focus more on the kills, and it's something which Denial, you look at the Pro League, for example, that's been one of the areas where they've been kind of slacking. In terms of the group, yeah, you're going to favor Denial to come out. I think you'd be an idiot if you didn't.
I think it's the easiest group.
But later on in the tournament, though, that's when I think you could see maybe Denial have a couple
Right.
of scary moments. I think, what happens if they don't get it to the final this event? Is that where you maybe start thinking about team changes after X Games? What happens if they don't play well at X Games? This is the World Champs. You don't want to see them split up. But, the game evolves, and you don't evolve with it.
What's interesting is that champs, they were pretty much I mean, I wouldn't say they were the only team, but they're really the only team committed to running 2 ARs all the time.
Right.
After that, we've seen everybody kind of adjust to that, and now you're seeing other teams doing better than them, which is scary because it's kind of, you look back at like Black Ops 2, like Impact, like they came out, they used all these tacticals like EMPs and everything at champs, and nobody was really prepared for it. And then after that, you had teams that copied it, and they never made it back to the top of the mountain after
That's
that.
such a good point.
So it's have other teams adjusted and just taken what Denial did and are doing it better, or if they just had an up and down few weeks.
I think as well, you look at Denial at COD Champs, and they were extremely prepared.
Right.
Right. You had listenings when they were playing us off the game. You heard Nate Trump say,
knew what they were doing.
They've been going over nade spots. You know, like you see visibly the fact they're rushing Crim on
Catwalk.
S&D solo. Catwalk. Right. Are they as prepared for this event as Champs? Probably not.
No.
So I think, you know, a Denial team which isn't 100% prepped, are they going to be as lethal? Have to wait and see.
Can we all take a moment and just appreciate Matt's hair? Go ahead. Go back to that
Why?
close shot.
It's a mess today.
It's looking
fabulous,
good. It's
bro.
holding on to your
It's on-
headset.
It's
Life
on,
is
it's on
good.
point, man. Look at it.
Had
You
your-
had a haircut too.
Yeah, I had to go get a fresh
No,
cut.
you look beautiful too.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
There
Next
it is.
team.
Look, you had that one little strand.
Yeah, you're good.
He's a straggler.
Ugh.
dude. Yep, you missed him.
Push him back. Yep. Whatever. Let's take a look at our next squad. This is TCM. A lot of excitement around this team, especially when they announced they're coming over to the U.S. for Pro League. In your eyes, guys, how strong is this team compared to the other Pro League competitors?
You know, bar losing a bunch of game 5s, I mean, they've been pretty strong in
Yeah.
the Pro League.
Very strong.
I mean, they started out, they'd gone 1-6 in game 5s at one point in the Pro League. I mean, they split those, and they were in the top, like, 3 or 4 at that moment in time. I think it's a fairly strong team. The issue with me for them going into this event is, you know, we know that Mad Cat's coming.
Yep.
Most likely going to replace Gunshi.
Yep.
It's kind of hasn't
I'm pretty sure
officially
it's-
been confirmed, but
I mean,
that's what it
Gunshi-
looks
Gunshi
like.
tweeted out that he was staying
Gunshi
in the
tweeted
UK,
out he's
right.
staying in the UK. I mean, we can say that Mad Cat's going to replace Gunshi. How does that affect their performance this weekend, knowing that you're playing with somebody that you're not going to be playing with, you know, Monday?
Right.
Let's give it one last go.
But then,
It's great to say that, but it's hard to do.
Right.
right? Like you're going into the event knowing, oh, you know, see you later, Gunch.
Are you hanging out with Mad Cat more than you are Gunshi already?
Right. That's what
I mean,
it's like.
yeah, all those guys know Madcap very well, but like, I don't know. I'm really, really upset that Gunch is leaving.
Yeah.
Really am, because he was one of the players that when it was announced that they were moving across, I was really excited for. Because this is something he's been working for a really, really long
Right.
time. Like, he's an old school Call of Duty player. So to see him, like, kind of fall short, I don't know the exact reason.
Yeah,
So
whatever-
it could be anything.
Whatever
he
he's
fell
going home
short.
for, I'm sure he has a good reason.
Right.
Right.
And I hope that you're happy doing that, Gunch. But I'm excited to see you play on your home turf once again. He always does seem to play well at Gfinity's, at least in the
He
games
does.
I've cast.
Yes.
He does. Gfinity is an event where Gunshi seems to kind of thrive under that home.
He
home
gave us
turf.
huge issues. It was G2 with Epsilon in the finals. He was playing for them
Yeah.
because Mad Cat couldn't play, which is actually kind of funny.
That's kind of
because now-
ironic.
Right. I definitely think he'll have a great weekend. Infused is a very interesting team. And I feel
Yeah.
like they got a bad rub at champs a little bit.
I'm not like.
Ben doesn't like these guys at all.
Why?
He just thinks they are inferior compared to some of
You
the
didn't
other
like
UK talent.
You didn't like Watson. You remember you didn't like Watson going in. There you
I said
see
Watson was a great
JT,
player.
Lewis, Quicker, and Mellon. Yeah, you never said that.
The other guys haven't been to America too
Yeah.
frequently at an MLG event, so we don't have your headshot. Sorry, guys.
It's fine.
It's good enough, though. Infused, I think they'll be competing with Hyper Games for that third spot.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that.
So
That's
you
what I mean.
expect
Like, I'm not saying Infuse is a bad team. I'm just looking at the group and being realistic. Like, the chance of Infuse coming through. I mean, having said
Did
that,
they beat TCM?
No, I think the practice TCM's had in North America now is going to be
It is true.
huge. Like, I can't see that happening. But what's crazy is you look at ESWC, day one, pool play, like, again, like we always say, pool play, crazy stuff happens. It happened at ESWC as well. Like, Optic lost their first map, and everyone was like, "Whoa, oh,
Right.
What happens now? Like, this is ridiculous. No one expected that." So, you know, TCM start off 0-1. Who knows?
Yeah.
Finally, we got to talk about Hyper Games. French squad coming over once again. Hyper Games, unfortunately, not able to make it into the bracket last tournament, but you got Maxi, Tony Ja, Viziok. I'm not even going to try that one.
Viziok.
Viziok, thank you. And Riskin.
The Riskins played on a few
Nailed
teams
that
with Gotaga in the past.
Yeah, we saw him at the Columbus Open.
Yeah.
It's been all over the place in AW.
I think this is like third or fourth place max for these guys. I don't think they
I think you're
have.
looking at fourth.
You think so? I think they'll probably get. That's where I would probably pick them.
Look at the French teams at ESWC. Like on home turf, you've got all the fan support, and they just did not perform at all.
Yo, you just roasted all.
Yo, you roasting France that hard?
I'm being realistic. Look at the results, especially an event that was just 2 weeks ago. Like, not even that. Like a week ago.
Guys,
that's something you can really look at.
Yeah, let us know what you think about that Group B, though. I want to get your thoughts. Who's stronger here? Is it Infused or Hyper Games? Who do you think has the best chance of fighting for the second spot coming out of that group, assuming that Denial is able to lock up the top spot? We're going to commercial break. When we come back, we got Group C and D. Don't go anywhere.